Hi guys, I'm Seth. Welcome back to Warthog Defense. Ukraine's air forces reaching deep into Russian territory with Western precision. In a daring cross-border strike, Ukrainian MiG-29 dropped a French-made ASM Hammer guided bomb on a building sheltering Russian troops in Bezimene, Belgorod region. This marks another escalation in Kyiv's strategy to disrupt Russian military activity far from the front lines. As Russia continues its war of aggression, Ukraine is hitting back with accuracy, reach, and international support. Here's what happened in the skies over Belgorod. A Ukrainian MiG-29 carried out a precision strike deep inside Russia, targeting a building in the village of Bezimene, Belgorod region, where Russian troops were stationed. The strike was executed with the French-made AISM Hammer guided bomb, showcasing the growing reach and capability of Ukraine's Western Armed Air Force. As Russian forces push on the front, their rear positions are increasingly vulnerable, proving that nowhere is truly safe from Ukraine's expanding air campaign. An FPV drone operated by Ukraine's Omega Wings unit has destroyed a Russian Tu-S-19 Pantsir-S self-propelled howitzer, according to a video published on its Facebook page. Omega Wings, part of the Omega Special Purpose Center under the National Guard, executed the strike. The destruction was made possible through the coordinated use of reconnaissance and strike drones. Aerial surveillance first identified the target's location. Reconnaissance drones continued to monitor Russian troop movements, equipment, and artillery positions on a daily basis. Once the target was confirmed, a strike drone carrying explosives was dispatched and hit the artillery system with precision. The FPV drone targeted vulnerable components of the Pantsir-S, such as the turret ammunition compartment or engine. The strike triggered an internal ammunition explosion, destroying the system. The unit also released footage of a separate strike in which a towed Russian howitzer was destroyed with a single munition dropped from a drone. Drone strikes have proven effective in disabling Russian artillery systems, offering greater flexibility compared to traditional artillery or air strikes. Drones can be deployed rapidly and operate from varying launch points, making them suitable for targeting mobile or camouflage systems. Ukraine's 1st Burevy Presidential Brigade recently reported the first confirmed destruction of a North Korean Type 75 multiple launch rocket system used by Russian forces. Germany is expected to deliver its first Patriot battery to Ukraine within a few months after finalizing an agreement to purchase the air defense systems from the United States. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius made this announcement following discussions with the US Secretary of Defense. Berlin and Washington are set to finalize the acquisition of 2 American Patriot air defense systems and arrange their delivery to Ukraine within the coming days or weeks. Speaking in Washington, Pistorius stated that negotiations will continue at the working level to finalize details, including the number of launchers and missiles to be included in the agreement. According to him, once the agreement is signed, the first air defense system could be delivered within a few months. He declined to comment on whether the talk also covered offensive weaponry. If the intergovernmental agreement is successful, the purchased systems will become the 4th and 5th Patriot batteries Germany has delivered to Ukraine. This would make Berlin the leading supplier of these systems to Ukraine, even surpassing the United States, the manufacturer and primary user of the Patriots. Previously, German officials stated that further deliveries of these air defense systems directly from their own military stocks would not be possible, as the number of available systems has been reduced to 9. This is significantly fewer than the 36 Patriot batteries Germany possessed at the height of the Cold War. Agreements with the United States on the sale and priority delivery of weapons in exchange for support to Ukraine have resolved this issue. However, it remains unclear whether the German systems will be sent promptly in exchange for guarantees of swift compensation or if the systems will come from the US military's own stockpiles. The question of the supplier country is important, because Germany possesses older PAC-2 generation systems that cannot use the advanced MIM-104F missiles, which are effective at intercepting ballistic targets. In contrast, all American systems have been upgraded to the third generation PAC-3 standard. Beyond the air defense systems, the Ukrainian military faces a critical shortage of ammunition, specifically interceptor missiles. In particular, there is a deficit of PAC-3 MSE missiles, which are capable of effectively intercepting ballistic and hypersonic missiles. It was recently announced that Germany will receive its first Patriot interceptor missiles manufactured domestically by late 2026 or early 2027. When asked whether Germany will have the freedom to make decisions regarding the use of these missiles, especially in the context of transferring them to Ukraine, given that they are based on American technology, Major General Christian Freuding responded that no issues are expected in this regard. We need time to analyze what was said in Washington, Peskov. Of course, no need to rush. Just a few thousand Russians will die while you spend several days holding meetings where dozens of Kremlin experts will decode one simple statement. Russia has 50 days to reach a ceasefire agreement in Ukraine, or else secondary sanctions will follow.
The statement from the President of the United States is very serious. Something in it is addressed personally to President Putin. We certainly need time to analyze what was said in Washington, and if and when President Putin deems it necessary, he will definitely comment on it. I would not like to jump ahead. Let's wait. Wait for the decision, Putin's decision, whether he will comment on this himself. For now, one thing can be said for certain. It seems that such a decision, made both in Washington and in NATO countries, directly in Brussels, is perceived by the Ukrainian side not as a signal to peace, but as a signal to continue the war.
Here's what Bakhmut in the Donetsk region looks like now. A Russian soldier drives through the destroyed city, showing what the occupying army has done to it. Russia's method of conquest in Ukraine has become brutally clear. They don't capture cities, they erase them. From Bakhmut to Avdiivka and now in Donetsk region's Toretsk direction, the Kremlin's forces are leveling towns with artillery, glide bombs and missile strikes before moving in. This isn't warfare aimed at liberation, it's annihilation. Civilian infrastructure, homes, schools, everything is reduced to rubble, leaving nothing worth defending. It's a scorched earth strategy that mirrors the cruelty of ancient barbarian invasions, where destruction was the goal, not just the cost. In the 21st century, Russia is acting like modern-day barbarians, conquering through devastation, not victory. Following another massive Russian attack on Ukraine on the night of July 12, 2025, a video circulated on social media showing what appears to be a KHM-101 cruise missile with cluster warhead striking infrastructure in the city of Chernivtsi. There has been no official confirmation of this episode. However, an article published by the Warzone on Russian KHM-101 cruise missiles, particularly those equipped with cluster munitions, proves quite interesting and revealing. At first glance, this article does not contain any fundamentally new details about the KHM-101 missile. All the information provided has already been circulating publicly. On the other hand, the generalization of available data is an important fact. It shows that the authors of Western specialized resources have a specific idea of what weapons Russians are using to strike Ukraine. The first reports of the use of the KHM-101 missiles with the cluster warhead to strike Ukraine date back to the summer of 2024. The authors of the Warzone cited the lack of data regarding the presence of cluster munitions on other types of Russian long-range cruise missiles, such as the Caliber. It is also indicated that two variants of the KHM-101 cruise missile can carry cluster warheads. In the first case, a single warhead weighing 400 kilograms is used. In the second case, missiles with a dual warhead are used, where one of the components has a cluster munition. In this case, the warhead weight increases to 100 kilograms, but this could significantly reduce the missile's flight range. In addition, the fact of integrating a cluster warhead into the KTM-11 is a continuation of Russian efforts to modify the design of these cruise missiles. In particular, in early 2023, it became known about the appearance of an improved variant of the KTM-1 with decoy flares to mislead anti-aircraft means.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.